I'm holding a red obsidian crystal, and
All right.
I'm looking at what looks like a sword, and I get this feeling it's a sword in the stone.
All right.
And it feels
What does
like,
that symbolize for you then?
well, I knew you were going to ask me, but I was going to ask you.
Oh, how psychic of you.
But I must need to know the answer because...
Well, if you feel like you need to know the answer, then why not assume that you do and make a statement of it?
Okay.
What is the answer for you at this moment? Doesn't mean that the answer doesn't have the ability to change in the next moment. Whatever your answer is at this moment, however, is correct for you.
Okay. At this moment, I feel it's an opportunity.
To what?
To access the purity and power of the notion we call here Excalibur.
All right. Which means what to you?
Well, it means the essence of pure power and pure intention.
Ah, you mean cutting through all of the red tape.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Then that's what it means for you right now. It will mean other things at other times as you become different yous within the overall you that you are.
So the red tape that I'm cutting through, is there any feedback?
It's beliefs and definitions that don't work for you, that may have come from other people in society that you are beginning to realize have nothing to do with who you are. And using that as a symbol to cut through that and see with clarity what is and is not you.
Okay. And this will guide me in my practice as a teacher and healer and leader. Is that correct?
That didn't need to be a question.
Yes.
You are your own Merlin. You are your own Arthur. You are your own Guinevere. You are your own Camelot. Invent yourself. All right?
Yes.
As you wish. Does that help you?
Very much.
You are using symbols you are familiar with from other simultaneously coexisting lives that served you in those lives well. So you're recreating symbols in this life that harkens you back to those vibrations because you know how to use them. So use them.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
I'll be of service to your civilization and ours.
You are of service to everything in the universe when you are your total self. Even the willingness to be your true self is of service to everything in creation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have had the experience recently of thinking that I died.
Yes.
I left a message on someone's phone. It started out, my intent was to say how great I felt about them being in my life.
Yes.
But after I hung up, it sounded like a suicide message.
All right.
Did I die at that time?
Not right at that time, but before.
Okay. Why did I choose, or could I have yes, the answer is yes.
Yes.
But how could I have not continued with some of the things in my body that I didn't want?
The idea of choosing to come back means you understand that the things you don't prefer in your body are representative of issues that you wanted to work through to expand your spiritual growth. So you didn't want at that moment to get rid of them in any other way, but getting to a point where you could process them to add to your understanding of yourself.
Okay, thanks.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Is there anything else you wish to discuss about this?
No.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. What is your time frame at this moment?
It's 11:25. We have a half an hour.
All right. Allow us at this moment to let the idea of questions continue later. Allow us to begin right now to explain the issue of the completion of the circuit. So there can be the addition of this idea to the questions that will occur after your break. So all of you become relaxed at the moment. Pay attention, but relax. Now, if you have something to write with, by all means, get out your paper and pen or pencil. You don't have to, but you can. If you need to borrow from another, by all means, take a moment to do so. Remember, of course, that you will always be able to access this on your recorded device. So you can always get it later if you're not writing it down now. But if you wish to write it down now, by all means do so, if you feel it will help you focus what we are about to say. Now, you don't have to write anything just yet. One more time, let us explain that the idea that we are discussing here has to do primarily with when you say, I feel a certain way. And I don't necessarily mean physiologically, although there is a connection, of course. What we are discussing right now is mostly the idea of the spectrum of emotional feelings. And, of course, because you generally prefer what you typically call the positive emotions, what we are dealing with here in this exercise is mostly the idea of what you typically call the negative emotions. Although generally speaking, nothing is really positive or negative about emotions. They are experiences, and you can use them as you wish. But generally in your language, we understand that when you say, I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel frustrated, I feel scared, I feel in doubt. These are the ideas we are talking about with regard to this particular exercise. And a way to allow yourself to begin to transform them by putting yourself in the appropriate state that will immediately neutralize the energy of that particular emotional vibration, while simultaneously allowing you to rewire your brain so as to complete a circuit. Because up to this point, many of you have not been taught how to complete the circuit, and so get caught up in a short-circuiting, self-feedback, self-perpetuating loop that never gets beyond the feeling. I feel frustrated, and that just leads to I feel more frustrated, and that just leads to I feel even more frustrated, that I am frustrated, that I am frustrated, that I am frustrated, that I am frustrated. And now, because I've been frustrated for so long, I feel angry that I am frustrated, and I'm frustrated, and I'm frustrated. And now, because I have been angry for so long, I feel sad that I've been angry about being frustrated, and so on. And you build upon those kinds of feedback loops until you are caught in a cycle of what you call depression and suicidal mania. So, we are now about to talk about the idea that this actually sets up a literal, physical, neurological feedback loop in your brain, and we're going to now create an equation, if you wish, a mantra, that will actually allow you to finally divert that feedback loop when it happens along another neurological path that completes the circuit, grounds the idea, and neutralizes the effect of the feedback loop. All right? All right. Now, here is what you can write down, if you wish. And when I say fill in the blank, that just simply means whatever emotion you wish to transform, whichever emotion you wish to neutralize. You don't even have to fill that in right now. You can actually put a blank or a line to represent whatever emotion you might want to experience in this equation later. But for right now, write down, I feel blank. and I feel blank because I choose to. And I choose to because I believe it serves me to. So there's 3 sentences there. I feel blank, period. And I feel blank because I choose to, period. And I choose to because I believe it serves me to, period. Now, this seems very simple, but it is deceptively powerful. When you find yourself in a situation where, for example, you say, I feel sad, or I feel frustrated, or I feel angry, complete the entire equation. I feel angry. I feel angry because I choose to. I choose to because I believe it serves me to. When you take that thought all the way out to its logical conclusion, you are allowing yourself to touch in and represent all the stages of the creation of that emotion. And you're rewinding it and unfolding it and exposing the underlying structure that created that emotional experience. You're making it transparent, and you're putting yourself back in charge of having chosen that experience. And that will neutralize it. When you say this often enough, you get into that pattern of saying this equation every single time you feel something you don't prefer. Understand, we are not talking about denying the feeling. We are not talking about glossing it over. We're talking about owning it, acknowledging it, accepting it, because you cannot change what you do not own. But you are recognizing that you are choosing it, and you are understanding that you are choosing it because you believe it serves you. And when you lay out the entire equation that way, you will begin to find that it will immediately or very quickly neutralize the emotional sensation. You'll be back to point 0, and then you can begin to explore what belief and what definition you may have about your relationship to the situation that will allow you to choose to feel that way in relation to whatever it is that's happening. Again, it's an extremely, apparently simple tool, but its effects will be profound on your neurological wiring. I feel blank. I feel blank because I choose to. And I choose to because I believe it serves me to. When you have laid those 3 sentences out, the next thing that will happen in the automatic section of the neurology of your brain will be the question, why on earth would I choose to do that? Why on earth would I believe this serves me? And that will start the ball rolling for your investigation of what it is in your belief system that would make you believe it actually serves you to feel that way, to have that kind of a relationship with whatever is going on in your life, to have that kind of a definition. It will put you in the proper place in your brain that will automatically trigger the question and bring up your curiosity to allow you to dive down and find out what the heck that belief could possibly be. That's what this exercise is actually designed to do. It's designed to take advantage of the neurological wiring that exists in your brain in such a way as to put you in touch with your ability to automatically wonder why you're doing what you're doing, and to begin to explore the reasons for that and illuminate for yourself the definitions that are causing the emotion to be experienced. It creates a larger kind of loop, a larger kind of circuit, a larger kind of higher vibrational self self-fulfilling, self-building, self-creating, self-manifesting, self-perpetuating prophecy and experience for you in your life. It turns the small, closed circuit of negative experience into a large, spiral circuit of positively perpetuating, expansive synchronicity and self-discovery and investigation. So remember those 3 sentences, and anytime you find yourself feeling a certain way that is uncomfortable for you, own it. All right, yes, I feel this. I'm not going to deny it. I own it. I acknowledge it. I am feeling this. And I am feeling this because I choose to. And I choose to because I believe it serves me. Now, how the heck is that possible? How does it serve me? How do I think this serves me? What would I have to believe is true in order for me to believe this serves me to feel this way? And you will begin by having that internal dialogue start. You will begin to find answers bubbling up in your imagination. Just be open. Don't be afraid. Be willing to let those answers come up. And if you find in that process that you are afraid of what answers you might find, then take the process over again from that point and say the 3 sentences again, and bootstrap yourself all the way along the circuit until you find it completes itself to the point where you are willing to allow whatever answers will bubble up to bubble up. Let them bubble up. Remember, this is where you begin to make a friend of the unknown, because you're going to discover through this process that the only thing that exists in the unknown is more of you. That's all that's there. It's all that's ever been there, all that is there now, all that ever will be there is you. And you will discover that you is the same as the all that is. That it is you, that you are it. It is both. It is neither. It is both. It is neither. And that is the mystery of the experience of life. The power of paradox is where you wish to come from to experience the breaking of your continuity creatively. The power of paradox is where you are at the center of yourself between what seem to be contradictory and opposing ideas, but which, obviously, by definition, must both have emanated from the center of your being, or you would not be experiencing what appears to be paradoxical ideas. So somewhere within you, they are actually one thing that you have created to seem to be 2 opposing things. Standing in the center of what appears to be 2 opposing things will allow you to begin to understand the actual commonality between them, how they are reflections of each other in a different way than you may think, and it will teach you much about the power of your creativity and your ability to break your continuity creatively. So, those 3 sentences get the ball rolling. They will literally, as you say them over and over again, literally change the wiring in your brain until it becomes what you call second nature, to think that way, to see yourself that way. And when it becomes second nature, you will find that less and less and less and less will you be feeling frustration and anger and sadness and doubt. You will instead find that you will very immediately only be feeling joy and creativity and excitement and love and peace and curiosity and mystery and profundity and gratitude. Not that the others are of any less value, because they all serve a purpose. They are all valid. This is all about validating every portion of yourself. Remember, expansion is the process of inclusion, not exclusion. The farther you go into the light, the more aware of the darkness you're able to become. It doesn't mean you have to choose it, but you become more aware of the choices you have on both sides. But just look at them as choices. That's all they are. Remember, physical reality is all about choices. And just because you may become more aware of what you may call negative choices or dark choices doesn't mean you have to experience them. In fact, the more willing you are to become more aware of them, the less you need to experience them, because you're allowing them to be equally valid to any choice you could make. And when they become equally valid to any choice you could make, then all choices being equal, you are then effortlessly capable of choosing what you prefer without invalidating what you don't prefer. It just becomes a recognition that that's simply not where you live anymore. You live in this house now, not that house. That doesn't mean that's a bad house. It served you well. It brought you to the ability. It brought you to the place where you can now choose this house. So bless it, love it, keep it, own it, but leave it in its place. It's a place you no longer live. But someone else may still be using that neighborhood. And bless them for experiencing those things you have experienced, knowing that they are also going up the ladder in their own way, in their own time. Make it all equal. And you will have equal ability to choose anything you wish, anything at all. We will explore this further and also get back into examining different ideas and perspectives through questions and sharing after your break. By all means, enjoy your refreshment, and we will continue this transmission afterwards. Thank you. Or it'll say, let us continue with the transmission. First of all, we would like to begin by asking you to meditate on not meditating. There's that paradox thing again. Now, we are to some degree playing with you, but the point of that is, from a basic level, we wish to remind you that living a life of excitement is also fundamentally about simply appreciating what there is all around you, starting from a simple foundation of nature, what your world is like, rather than for the moment what it can be like, because there is great beauty on your planet. We understand that there can be also and is also harshness, but there is also beauty. And if you will take the time in your desire to live a fulfilled life, a fulfilling life, a life of high excitement, to also be at peace within the nature around you, take a moment just to appreciate what you have as a beautiful planet, that will go a long way toward increasing your experience of the world that you prefer, increasing and heightening and enhancing your experience of excitement. And as you appreciate more and more every day the world that is around you, you yourselves, your vibration will also appreciate, and that is, in other words, rise in vibration so you can experience the value of yourself. It is no accident that you use the word appreciate to describe the raising in value of an object or of money on your planet, because it has to do with the recognition that that vibration can grow, can become enriched, and you can allow yourself to understand that you yourself are a medium of exchange, even though you will have the symbolic form of money on your planet for a while yet. You will begin to use it differently in time. You will begin to base your money not on gold, not on objects, but on people, on the value of people, on the value of a nation's wealth, of a world's wealth, of people's abilities. And basing the value of your money on the value of people's abilities directly will allow you to expand and make available to many people around the world both opportunities and gifts and services that heretofore have not been possible for you to be capable of accessing or offering. Because when you base your medium of exchange on the value of the people of a world, you will soon realize that all barriers, all borders need to dissolve in order for that system to work. And you will understand that it is worth dissolving those barriers and those borders because the increase, the rate of increase at which your money will actually appreciate by basing it on the value of the people on the planet will be exponentially larger than any value it could attain by basing it on gold or some other object of artificial valuation. The only true value you have in your world is the people and the world itself. Even though you may deem certain objects or materials to be valuable, and we are not saying they aren't, all of that comes from you. You decide what is valuable. Just because you say gold is valuable is what makes it so. By itself, of course, it has attributes, it has properties, it has many advantageous attributes that you can utilize in a variety of ways, and you can say that has value. But it is still determined utterly by you, because obviously there are such things as societies that do not value the same things in the same way. But all societies recognize that if they do not value their people, the society begins to collapse rapidly. And nothing works. Even if you set up a perfect system of monetary exchange based on an unlimited supply of any material you believe is valuable, that system only works when the people in the system are also given value. Because it takes its cue of appreciation from you and how you appreciate yourselves. Abundance and the experience of abundance is the experience of appreciating the self and appreciating others. That is why you see on your planet that when people follow their dreams in the form of projects or businesses, The most successful ones are the ones in which the creator appreciates him or herself and also appreciates other people in recognizing that the way the business is most successful is by being of best service to others. And any time a business is structured around being of service to others, it succeeds. And any time a business is structured by someone who is in full appreciation of themselves, it succeeds. Those two components make for successful business and make for the appreciation of true wealth in a society, the wealth of the people. You are the wealth of your world. Appreciate yourselves, and your reality will reflect that appreciation in a variety of ways. Creatively, abundantly, any form that is apropos for you at any given moment will be reflected back to you based on the level at which you are willing to appreciate yourself, raise your vibration, value yourself. It all takes its cue from you. You are the coin of the realm. Cash in on yourselves. Invest in yourselves. Draw interest in yourselves. All those terms apply to you, not just your money, because you are the money. You are the coin. And like a coin, you have heads, you have tails, you have light, you have dark, you have polarity. It takes two sides to make a coin. Without both, there is no coin and nothing can be spent. Appreciate both aspects of your polarity. Bring them both into a state of balance. There's that business term again, balance. Balance your books, balance your worth, balance your value. And you will be astonished at how rapidly you will gain a variety of forms of abundance, a variety of forms of wealth, a variety of forms of expression and creativity and ability to interact and exchange in a variety of ways heretofore unconceived on your planet. And your world can also, this way, eventually become an ecstatic explosion of orchestrated synchronicities. We know it can be done because we live it every day. We know you can do it because we can see the real you. And we know who you really are, regardless of what you may spend time convincing yourself otherwise. We know who you really are, what you are capable of, and what you actually do every day in terms of your levels of creativity. And we simply remind you of who you are so that you can learn to appreciate yourselves more and more fully. In some ways, this is really, if you stop to think about it, just common sense. But of course, paradoxically, once again, we understand that on your planet, common sense isn't very common. However, it can become more so. And again, listen to the synchronistic monetary metaphor, common sense. It still has to do with money and valuing yourself. As you gain in a typical common sense grounded appreciation of the world in which you have created yourself to experience life, then that will bind you together in a common connection that will increase your value to each other and to yourselves. Common sense, both in the vernacular of sense and dollars and cents. And as you appreciate common sense and ground yourself in the common sense of appreciating the world you have at your fingertips, all around you, all the time, then that will bind you together in a common form of self and mutual evaluation and valuation that will allow you all to appreciate together. Make sense? So, based now on what we have said prior to the break, and now, and with regard to the new equation that allows you to diffuse and neutralize the feedback loop of the negative and bring it into the spiral of the positive, and remembering all that and applying all that at your own pace, in your own way, to the best of your ability, we may continue for a while with exchange, if you wish, questions and answers.
Ahar, Bashar.
All right. Are you a pirate?
I've always wanted to say that, so I thought I'd take this opportunity.
Thank you. Ahoy, matey.
Aye, laddie. I've come out from behind the camera to ask you this question today because your subject matter seems particularly attuned to the primary issue of my life.
All right. Such as?
Well, I am told by another channeled entity who goes by the name Friend, whom I believe you know,
Yes.
that I came into this life with what's known as the chironic wound.
All right.
Is this something you're familiar with?
We understand it by different nomenclatures, yes.
Okay. Another terminology that applies to this would be wounded healer.
Yes.
And my understanding of this is that the idea of the chironic wound is this story, which I guess comes out of Greek mythology.
Yes.
Chiron was a centaur who was an immortal being, and he was a master healer and master herbologist.
Yes.
And according to the version of the story that I heard, Zeus asked him to make the perfect poison,
Yes.
which would be a poison which had no antidote
All right.
and which was invariably fatal.
Yes.
And somehow Chiron got himself poisoned by his own perfect poison.
All right.
And Chiron, being an immortal being, of course, could not die.
However,
Well, he apparently, according to this version of the story,
Yes.
attempted to heal himself from this.
Yes.
He couldn't die, so he was in the misery of the poison.
yes.
And he couldn't, even though he was a master healer, could not come up with an antidote because it was a perfect poison. So it was between the proverbial rock and a hard place.
Yes. What we have also called the watermelon seed phenomenon.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
When you squeeze a watermelon seed between two fingers to the point where it has no choice but to go in a new direction by shooting out from between them.
Okay, right.
Can't go up, can't go down, must go this way. And this is also what connects to this particular mythology.
Okay.
Can't go this way, can't go that way, must go that way.
Okay. Well,
Must move in a new direction to survive.
All right.
And heal.
the manifestation of this in my life
Yes.
can be characterized by the following statement.
Yes.
No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try or work or endeavor, I cannot catch a break. I cannot succeed. I cannot be effective in the realization of my dreams. And I have very, very big dreams.
All right. Maybe you should reduce the scope of the dreams a little bit.
I don't want to,
Why not?
because I'm not interested in a second choice, a second place, a fallback position.
I
have
am
no
not
interest-
calling it a fallback position.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm doing a kind of shadow version of my dreams.
Yes.
I make videos.
I understand.
Yes. And what I really feel that I want to be doing is writing and directing major motion pictures.
All right.
Okay, I make video stuff, so it's definitely a reflection of that kind of activity.
All
but
right.
not on the scale that I want to do it.
Understood.
Not in the subject matter that I want to do.
Understood. Nevertheless, it is of the same ilk and can be treated with the same energy so as to allow that as a seed to expand into something bigger.
Okay, well, let me focus my question a little bit differently. Maybe,
All right.
maybe your response will be the same and maybe not.
We'll see.
We will indeed, dude.
All right.
Well, you said you were talking earlier about the circuit breaker, the three
Yes.
sentences, and you were talking about an overriding belief.
Yes.
And the chironic wound is kind of like an overriding belief.
Yes.
So overriding that even the efforts that I make to change my core beliefs fail.
Then
Core-
that's the overriding belief.
Well, the overriding belief is that no matter what I do, I can't succeed.
Yes.
And so if that applies to my efforts to change core beliefs, I'm unable to change core beliefs too, which means I'm unable to change the chironic wound belief.
And how does it serve you to believe that that can't be changed?
I don't know. I ask myself almost every day, what was I thinking when I came into this life with this belief as a basis of my life story? What the hell was I thinking?
All right, but it's not about what you were thinking. It's about how does it serve you to hold on to it.
Well, I don't have an answer for that.
All right.
I mean, I
You do need to explore that particular avenue, though.
Well, I have looked at it, and I mean, I recognize the fact that there's all manner of endeavor and exploration that is valid here in this reality. And
Yes.
this is probably the only reality where a belief and life story of that nature could be explored and really, really understood.
All right.
And I know that many people explore far more devastating life stories than I have. I mean, I still have a roof over my head, although I'm on the brink of homelessness all the time, but
On the brink.
yeah, I mean, I'm
The brink.
I get to the point
The
of
brink.
the brink of destitution.
The brink
Yes, the brink
of.
destitution.
The brink of.
My word is destitution.
The brink of.
I don't have an answer for that other
Yes,
than my
you
word.
do. What is the name of your story?
Oh, I have that. The brink of tomorrow.
The
certainly.
brink of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes. Your answer lies there.
Okay, but see, it's not instructive to me.
No, because of the way you are looking at it.
Well, certainly I know that I have more looking at to do, and that's what I'm trying to do.
It's not
I ask-
more looking, it's different looking.
Okay.
That is required.
Well, if I do different looking, that requires more looking than I've already done.
Yes.
Okay, so
But not more of the same.
well, I would say that's true because so far my looking thus far has not been effective. I haven't come up with an answer. I'm
Correct.
still looking. That's why I'm asking this
So it
question.
needs to be a different kind of looking, a different way of looking at the situation than you
Okay.
have been.
Oh, I'm open to suggestion.
All right. Well, brink of tomorrow was one suggestion, but obviously not strong enough for the way you are looking at
Okay, well, one way to interpret that phrase, now, of course, that's the title of my novel, but
it. Yes.
I have other stories, of course, that I'm interested in producing.
That's fine, but we're not talking about them.
Right. That particular one, let's say we use that as a trigger for this answer.
Yes.
It suggests that I wait for tomorrow. Well, that's not exactly satisfying.
The character in the story
Right.
has a reason for hiding
Yes.
from the public.
Right.
There is no accident that you structured the story the way you did. Because there are elements, even though not the same elements, there are elements of the character's situation that mirror what you feel about yourself or what you feel others will feel about you if you do, in fact, go public in the way you wish to.
I have no doubt of that.
All right. Well, a big clue lies there then. And looking at yourself differently in the way that it is achieved at the end of your story is a key for you to begin a new story for yourself. So that you do not have the fear that others will see you in the way that you fear they might if you go public.
You see, I don't feel that fear myself. I'm not in touch with that.
I know
If
you're
do
not
have
in
that-
touch with it. But the reason that you put that story in words is so you could be in the easiest way for you intellectually. You put it all out right in front of you, right in front of your face, so you could read it and absorb it in the way that you're used to looking at things intellectually.
Okay.
So it's all there. You created your own mythology, your own chironic story for you to learn from. In really looking at that story and putting yourself in the main character's position metaphorically, you will learn a lot about what you need to do to look at yourself differently, or look at how you think the world will look at you differently.
Well, what you're saying is not totally ringing true to me, because
All right.
I do not. I mean, his affliction was really serious, and it was a very
Yours
physical,
is too. It's just not the same kind.
Well, it's not physical.
I said it wasn't the same kind.
Yeah. And I don't
But it is nonetheless a metaphor for how you believe people may react to you.
Well, I don't see it.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
That's why you really need to look deeper into the story.
I don't believe that looking into the story will reveal what is in me that I'm.
And so you're not even willing to give it a shot.
Not a matter of not being willing. I just don't see it.
You don't believe it, you said.
I don't.
How about do believe it and see what happens if you believe it might actually help you? If you read the story in the belief it might actually reveal something to you, it will. If you read the story not believing it will reveal anything to you about the situation, of course, it won't.
Well,
This is your own chironic paradox.
I conceived this story over 2 decades ago, and I
Yes.
kind of have the feeling that I've pretty much explored the darn thing,
Obviously not all the way through, or we wouldn't be having this conversation.
except that I conceive it as possible that you have taken this particular tangent or this particular approach and it not necessarily applying as thoroughly to me as you'd like to think it is.
All right. You're entitled to believe that.
Okay. It's just, I mean, I'll certainly look into it. It's very difficult for me to see that I have the problem that he had, because I don't have the physical problem.
So you cannot relate the physical metaphor to the idea of a belief system or emotional one. The
That's
fear
right.
of how people will see you.
Well, one of the clues to the difference is the fact that I'm sitting here in front of a bunch of people,
Yes.
talking in a broad manner, and I have done public speaking, so I do put myself in front of people.
Yes.
It's not the
But
same
you are
thing at
talking
all.
about putting yourself in front of people on a different scale. He put himself in front of people in a sense by at least allowing them to hear his voice.
Yes.
And that's what this is equivalent to for you. But you're talking about the equivalent of allowing himself to be seen in public, which is the idea you're talking about the grander vision you have of how you wish the public to see you. That's
Yeah.
the equivalency.
I'm not getting it. So let me just
All right.
shift gears for a second.
Oh,
here.
all right.
Okay. Go back to the chironic wound.
All right.
As I understand that story,
Yes.
the resolution for Chiron was that Zeus took pity on him, if you will,
Yes.
and elevated him to the level of a god,
All right.
and thereby relieved him of his affliction.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, okay, if I have this chironic wound deal,
Yes.
I don't have a Zeus. to
Yes,
come
you
to
do.
my-
Yes, you do.
Okay, where is Zeus? Who is
You are.
Zeus?
You are Zeus.
Ah, but if I have the belief that no matter what I do,
Yes.
I can't be effective in my efforts, then I can't even be effective as my own Zeus.
That's a belief.
Well,
You have to examine why you have the belief that you cannot be effective as your own Zeus.
I think I have that belief because I came in wanting to explore it, and I so far have not come up with the key to resolving it.
Remember when we said in the past that the whole idea of what is called on your planet karmic debt is simply the realization that karma is self-imposed. And the realization that karma is self-imposed completely erases the concept of karmic debt.
I do recall that.
That applies here. The idea that you may have come in with the concept of the chironic wound or the so-called karmic debt, all it really requires is your ability to understand that if it is self-imposed, then you can be your own Zeus and realize it has nothing to do with you anymore as soon as you say it doesn't. As soon as you really believe it doesn't.
I understand, and I have been through that very train of thought numerous times.
Train of thought is not the same as really holding the belief.
Well, I understand that as well. My understanding of it is intellectual. I understand it very well intellectually.
I know.
Getting it to be understood emotionally and viscerally and at the belief level, that's where the problem comes in, because it's
Yes.
a vicious cycle of
Yes.
belief that I can't do it, and therefore that belief reinforces my inability to put that belief aside, to
All
change
right.
that belief. It's
All
incredibly
right.
frustrating and
All right.
discouraging.
Well, one of the reasons we provided, the tool we provided today, is to see if it will help with situations like this in many of you. So apply the idea of the expanded equation over time and see if it starts breaking down the walls of the belief that you believe is holding you back.
I do intend to do that. That's
All right.
one of the things I intended to do with that. So one aspect of my question is,
Yes.
what would you suggest, since you structured that circuit breaker
Yes.
to contain emotions in those blanks?
Yes.
This is not so much an emotion but a belief. How would you suggest
But
that
the
I put
belief generates the emotions of frustration that you express.
But I think that if I just put frustration in there, it's not going to get to this core belief represented by the chironic wound. I'm thinking there's probably something else that I can put into that blank.
What do you think should be there?
Maybe just a restatement of the chironic wound? I mean,
If you wish,
I mean,
you can give it a shot.
yeah.
But usually, the idea is that when you feel the emotion that stems from the belief, there is then an active resonance
Yeah.
that will actually carry through the rest of the equation and bring you back to a place where you may have better insight into what the originating belief is of the vibrational emotion to begin with.
So I can impose upon the word frustration, for instance, it's frustration, discouragement, that kind of thing.
Yes.
I can impose upon that vibration the idea of the quote-unquote inability to change the belief
Yes.
structure, all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yes, and then continue with the equation and see over time whether it begins to break down the walls or not.
Okay.
All
do
right.
that. I have one other question on a completely different
Yes.
subject, but related. You're talking about the State of the Union, and in your
Yes.
last evening with Bashar,
Yes.
you talked about the State of the Future Union, and
Yes.
you talked about the dissolving of borders between the United States and Mexico and Canada and so on.
Yes.
The people who are currently attempting to do that are doing it with the intention, I believe, of not freeing and enlightening humanity, but controlling and oppressing humanity in what they call their own New World Order
So,
via the Illuminati, etc.
So
like
what?
that.
what's that got to do with your world?
Well, that structure is part of my world. For some
Is
reason,
it?
I've chosen to
Is
adopt
it?
that. Well, only from afar. Yeah,
Well,
it is, yeah,
then-
because it actually does impose upon me.
I see. Why do you choose to have it impose upon you then?
I think because I chose this world. I don't, that's another question. Why the hell would I choose a world that have that kind of oppression imposed upon me?
So that you can transform it.
Okay?
The idea being that the first step is to understand that even though you can observe it, it doesn't have to affect you. And that even though somebody may be doing something with a different intention than you would have, you can still use that to your advantage.
Okay, well, I guess my question is, if the people who are currently attempting to dissolve the borders and impose the New World Order of suppression and oppression of humanity,
Yes.
if that is their intention, and yet the ultimate result is going to be an enlightened humanity,
Yes.
where the dissolved borders and the use of non-use of money, I suppose, is the ultimate result. How does that transition from the
It doesn't. As we have already said many times, you're not changing the old system. You're implementing new systems that are representative of another parallel reality to which you will take your consciousness. And eventually you will simply no longer experience the systems that are of the old reality, because that will be in another reality.
Well, okay, I don't know. That may answer my question, but it doesn't seem like it does at this point. Right now, there is an effort afoot by the architects of the New World Order to impose this New World Order.
Do you enjoy speaking like a victim?
No, I'm just describing the
No,
world.
no. That's denial.
I don't think
Listen
so.
to yourself.
No, I'm just describing the world that I find myself in.
Listen
I do
to
realize that I am
yourself.
creating this reality,
Listen to yourself.
but it's a shared reality.
I understand, but you are using words like impose upon me, which
No,
implies
I-
you believe you are being affected by it in
No,
a
I
negative
didn't-
way.
I didn't say it's imposed upon me. I said it's imposed upon our society.
But you're the one speaking.
I'm not the society.
Yes, you are.
Well,
You are a member of society.
oh, I remember. Now that's a different story.
I see. So you like to split hairs.
I try to be semantically precise.
I believe you would do yourself a great service by being a little bit metaphorical.
Okay, let me establish some ground rules, if you will. I do understand that I create my reality. I do understand that I have chosen to create in concert with others, I believe, even though I really only know my own reality, this situation in which this New World Order is in process.
Yes.
I do realize that I'm creating it.
Yes.
I do believe that I'm creating it because I and the collective consciousness have chosen to explore this particular eventuality.
Yes.
And learn how to resolve this sort of thing.
All right.
Okay, so I understand that.
All right.
I'm not talking about the imposition of the New World Order from a perspective of not understanding that I'm creating it.
But that's not what I was addressing. I'm simply addressing your ability to recognize that even though you are part of a collective agreement in having that experience around you, that it still doesn't have to affect you in any way, shape, or form that you don't want it to.
I do understand that.
All right. Then you don't need to control things so tightly in order to get them to go in the direction you would prefer them to go into, which is what you're attempting to do. The idea of the semantic precision and the idea of having to set ground rules and guidelines often can be taken to extremes that represent the idea of exercising and imposing too much control on your own reality to allow it to breathe properly.
Then please don't take it to those extremes.
And I will not do so if you will also not do so.
I won't do so.
All right, but that's what you are doing.
Well, I was just, our language...
I don't mean in this conversation. That's what you're doing. You are attempting to control your reality in a way that is actually reminiscent of the way you are saying they are trying to control reality, even though you have a good intention and they may not. You are still imposing too rigid a structure on your reality to allow it to actually go where you would like it to go. You're trying to push it into place instead of allowing it to go where it is representative of your bigger self.
Believe me, if I could allow it to do that, I would be doing that.
Oh no.
This is one of the problems that I've encountered.
Yes.
The ability to allow it seems
Yes.
to... I have not been able to allow it.
I know, because you have beliefs that don't let you. That's what I'm saying.
I know that.
I know. And I know you know.
Yeah. But that's the problem. I know I have these beliefs, and I have not been able to allow the beliefs to change.
That's perhaps because you haven't figured out exactly what they are yet. When you identify them clearly, you will let them go. And ideally, as with many other things, the tool we have talked about today will allow you to begin to do that.
Yeah.
But it takes identifying the belief clearly. Once you've identified it, you will let it go. But you haven't identified it yet.
Wow, because I have several pages of lists of various statements of a whole variety of beliefs that,
Yes.
that I believe these statements reflect accurately what I'm creating in my life.
Well, let
And
me
so
ask
far, they
you a
have not
question.
changed.
Let me ask you a question.
Please do.
Do you believe that if you can identify it, you can let it go?
I have the conscious belief that that, quote unquote,
Stop.
should.
Stop. Stop.
Okay.
You are being too circumspect, and that's part of the problem.
Well, let me put it this way.
No, no,
22
no, 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 no. That's part of the problem. Let me put it this way. No, that's part of the problem. Don't put it another way. Don't rephrase it. Don't box it into a specific thing that your mind feels satisfied with. Don't put it another way. Allow yourself the freedom to insist for yourself that it needs to be looked at in a particular way that may be uncomfortable for your mind to grasp.
I don't have
That's when you will really make progress.
I don't have any trouble with that. But you see, 20 years ago,
So you say.
I thought that actually more than 20 years, 30 years ago, I thought that my dreams would just automatically come to realization.
Yes.
And I've been surprised every time that barriers have cropped up, and I realize that I'm creating the barriers myself and that they are the result of my beliefs.
Yes.
I have been surprised to discover that there's this barrier based on a belief. I thought that my beliefs were all attuned to my dreams coming to fruition.
And how did you feel when you found out they weren't?
Discouraged.
Thank you.
Frustrated.
Thank you. Take that feeling and put it in the tool I gave you today. That's the feeling you want to put in the blank space. Discouraged.
Like I said, I will do that.
All
I mean,
right.
that's the intention that I have, and I will do
That's it then.
that. Okay.
That's all that's necessary. That's what you had to get in touch with. Was your initial feeling when you were surprised that it wasn't what you thought? When you felt discouraged, that's the primal state of vibration you need to put in the blank to allow yourself to neutralize it and find out what beliefs underlie that discouragement.
I do understand that.
Then do
And-
it.
and,
Then do it. Then do it. That's it.
I intend to.
All right, that's
No
it.
question about
That's it.
But I just wanted to say that I have been in touch with that feeling.
That's it. Stop explaining it. That's it. Get in touch with the discouragement and use it this way. That's it. Don't explain it further. You'll only take yourself out of it again.
No, I won't take myself out of it.
Don't
'cause I feel it
say
all
you
the
won't
time.
take yourself out of it. Don't keep insisting that you have to have the last word. Just do it. That's all. Just do it.
Yes.
See if you can do that.
Yes, Massa.
All right. See if you can do it.
Oh, I can do it.
See if you can do it. Don't say it. See if you can do it. Just do it.
So you're setting.
Just do it. Stop talking about it. Just do it. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
How you doing?
Perfect. And you?
Good.
All right. Thank you.
I'm not sure what I want to talk about, so I'm just gonna
all right.
see what comes up. Actually, yeah, I kind of do have one thing I want to talk about.
Oh, all right.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the how many members are in the Galactic Alliance?
Ours?
Yeah.
How many members, as in how many civilizations?
Yes.
452 at present.
452. And we're going to be the next
No.
inclusion into that?
No.
One of the next ones coming up?
One of the next ones, yes.
Okay.
There will be many more between now and the time you become an actual member.
Ah, I see. And are most of those societies like ours, or like yours? Are they like, can you describe them?
We have described some of them from time to time. What would you like us to describe about them?
I don't know, their physical forms, their likes
All
and
right.
dislikes.
All
their-
right.
Or maybe, actually, here's one question. What brings them all together? What is the common goal?
A perspective that all things are one and a valuation of the differences that reflect to them all the ways that all that is can be. And an understanding of the synchronicity that results from that and the expansion of awareness that results from interacting with all those other aspects.
I like that.
So do we.
Good. Okay.
Now, we are not saying that there are not different levels of understanding and different levels of expression even within the alliance. There are members that, because they themselves have a relatively unified society, are simply curious to join the alliance to see what effect it may have on them to do so. And they may have no other motivation than that. But at least in their own context, they are among themselves unified.
So it's really a group of people that have self-respect, self-love, and self-understanding that they are the one and the one is them.
Yes, and the appreciation of the difference that they are from all the other differences.
Okay.
And the difference that everyone else is from them.
Wow.
Now, there are beings, of course, that are somewhat similar to humans, but that's only about 15% of all the beings we have ever encountered.
Wow.
Most of the ones that are similar to humans in the sense that they have the two arms, the two legs, the head with the two eyes, are actually, for the most part, actually genetically related to you. Or, I'll be more precise, you are genetically related to them. Thereafter, that 15%, most of the ones are not in any way, shape, or form what you would recognize as human.
Are they still corporeal?
Most of them. There are a few in the alliance who have the ability not to be.
As your society is getting into, right?
Yes.
I see.
But most of them have at least what you would recognize as the ability to project a corporeal aspect of some sort that most members can relate to. But for some, that's just a projection of convenience.
Wow, I just find that whole thing very fascinating.
Yes.
Very fascinating.
Now, one moment. One moment. We are filtering requests. One moment. Imagine, if you will, or if you can, that you have 4 legs, not 2, and that you are basically, to what you would consider to be now, upside down and backwards. In that your torso is hanging from the legs, not standing on top of them.
I see.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Now, imagine, if you will, that this being can move in any direction it wishes because its vision is 360 degrees. Do you understand?
Yeah.
One moment. Imagine, if you will, off of each of the 4 legs are also an extension that are manipulators, or what you would call hands, although they look nothing like yours. Which means the being can move in any direction it wishes to and still achieve the same degree of manipulation in its reality. In that sense, these beings have never developed the concept exactly that you recognize as quadrants, or north, south, east, and west. To them, it's all the same and based on the idea of radial patterns that only expand uniformly.
Wow.
Or contract uniformly. They do not have the same kind of sense of direction that you do.
Wow, I get it. Cool.
A very, 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 very loose vibrational translation of what they call themselves would be the freeing.
Say that again.
Freeing.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. One moment. We have to explain your joke to them. They don't get it.
Well, tell them there's no offense.
No offense taken, they just don't get it.
Okay.
They do not have the mechanisms that you have that cause sneezing.
Okay.
Once, twice, or 3 times a day, depending upon the philosophy that is held in the society, all of their vacuoles open and a strong, stiff breeze is created to blow through them to clean their systems out. They do not sneeze as such, but they have 1, 2, or 3 blows a day. They understand it to that degree, but not the explosive nature, since they completely control the passage of the air through those vacuoles through a system of muscular diaphragms.
See, I've been trying to do that myself, and I can't get any control of passing my air. So. It's a challenge.
All right. One moment.
You got to try to explain that one to them.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
I'm just playing around.
I know that. They are a little bit confused,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
can
all right.
understand.
They simply understand that they have to chalk it up to the differences between us and are fascinated to some degree as they can understand it by what you are saying and realize through the images we are imparting to them telepathically that you look, of course, very different than they do. And actually they are wondering how you can even stand up.
I wonder that myself.
It's not that they have not encountered other bipedal forms, but because they are so innately four-legged, it always seems a little bit mysterious to them and curious to them that something can actually balance on two. And so they wonder at that. And it is part of their appreciation of the differences.
Now tell me this, for that creature to be that type of creature,
Yes.
it had to start from some level of consciousness first, right? Just like we started from a level of consciousness that then produced a bipedal being.
Well, if you mean it that way, yes, although remember that on the spirit level, we're all the same kind of consciousness, choosing to experience incarnations in a variety of forms. But as you mean the consciousness of the material evolutionary
Right.
world itself, yes, there were what you would call primary forms before the form that is now in existence.
I see. Okay, and that primary form is the same for all species throughout the entire universe?
No. I am saying that in their environment, there was an initial form that actually had 8 legs and over time evolved into that which has 4 and has grown larger in its domain and has become, in your terms, capable of supporting incarnational spirit and expressing intelligence in a way that you would recognize as a civilization.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's true that everything starts from consciousness first, right?
Well, everything is consciousness. Of course, on that context, yes. If you want to call that the primal form, then yes. Everything starts from the same primal consciousness. But it doesn't really express itself as one form, per se. It's formless.
Right. Okay. And
Does
then
that
it
make
can
sense?
Yeah, and then it can choose the form that it wants to manifest.
Yes, and it chooses all forms. The primal consciousness chooses all forms
Right,
that it
'cause
can
there's
choose.
no limitation to it. It's
Correct.
infinite. You know, that's the one thing that I was getting from your talk earlier, that we are ungodly unlimited. And it's so...
Ungodly?
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. And it's so interesting that we've really boxed ourselves into this quote-unquote corner of humanity.
Yes.
When we are so much bigger
Yes.
than...
That's
It's amazing.
the mystery of it and the fascination of it and the beauty of it and the power of it is that you can do that being such unlimited beings. That's why you are so fascinating to so many species.
Wow. Because of
That's
our
why we
degree of
call you the
limitation.
masters of limitation.
Yeah, I've heard you say that several times. It's like a
There are not
cartoon.
many civilizations we have encountered that have imposed the same degree of limitations upon their experience of life. And this to us is a form of mastery.
Because the default behavior is to not be like that. Is that
In a
what you mean?
sense, you could call it the default behavior, yes.
Interesting.
The default state of being is to be unlimited, but also at the same time to experience absolute limitation as well. That's the polarity and everything in between. But as you meant it, yes. Recognizing that puts you in a state of higher awareness, yes.
Wow. Cool.
Whatever temperature you want.
Explain that to them.
They understand temperature.
Okay.
You mean the slang?
Yeah.
One moment. They actually have something similar. That's not foreign to them. They understand that a decrease in temperature usually causes things to slow down in motion. So they actually have in their language something similar to the idea of chill out.
Wow, cool.
All right.
I didn't mean that. I meant that. Just kidding around. Okay, and I guess one other quick thing.
Yes.
I was talking to Jill earlier, and she and I have the same interesting experience where we're both experiencing some pretty deep lows and some pretty amazing highs as well.
Yes.
And I don't know where I'm going with it, but I guess just
Probably
stay-
generally upward.
I sure hope so.
You can know so. You don't have to hope so. If you are implying uncertainty in that statement.
I was, but especially after yesterday and today, I'm getting more of a picture of
All right.
defining my own certainty
All right.
and building my own certainty and making my own certainty.
Thank you.
And I'm not there yet, but I will be.
You are where you are.
Right. Right. So this has been a very interesting seminar so far. So thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I will.
Oh, yeah, actually, sorry, one other thing. Thank you very much. I am very fascinated by the Institute of Applied Metaphysics and the acronym.
I am.
I am. There's no accident there, is there? Okay, I know you guys. Of course there's no accident. That's so cool. Any comments about that? Anything you want to add that you haven't said so far earlier? Because I'm just fascinated by us being able to do practical, everyday things to really get it in our skulls and our brains to become more who we really are. And in fact, you did that.
There will
earlier with
be
expert
basically
experience.
2 mandates for the Institute of Applied Metaphysics. Number 1 will be to explore all of the ancient metaphysical ideas and extract from them knowledge that can actually be applied in a variety of disciplines on your planet in very practical ways to expand your level of understanding, technology, medicine, and what have you. The second mandate is to provide the idea of general knowledge itself and explore and experience the expansion of yourselves through a variety of learning techniques and access to a variety of archives of knowledge.